Good afternoon, everybody. We're going to talk about solving absolute value equations and inequalities. As a reminder, absolute value is how far a number is from zero. It's signified with two bars surrounding whatever we want the absolute value of, and we're going to actually abbreviate absolute value as AV in this video because it just takes a long time to write and we want to get through a bunch of problems. Remember, if there's anything you want to pause and write down in your notes, it's a very good idea. All these problems, go ahead, put in your notes, any kind of questions that come up, write them down. That way you can ask them in class or even email me. And we can get as much confusion done, get rid of as much confusion as possible before class. We can jump right into some of these problems. Okay, our first problem is going to be absolute value of x plus 2 equals 9. Now, in this problem, we have an absolute value and we have something happening outside the absolute value. Now, this is a big deal because we're going to see problems where things are happening all inside the absolute value, and we solve those in a different way. So keep track of what we're doing. It's going to make a difference in how we solve things. So let's go ahead and solve this like we would any other problem. We want to get x by itself. We subtract 2 from both sides. And we get the absolute value of x equals 7. Now, this wants to know what number is 7 units from 0, sorry. And now there are two numbers. We can have x being 7, and we can have x being -7. Now with absolute value problems, you should always check your answers, because we're going to see some situations, maybe not today, but tomorrow, where the answer just doesn't work. So let's go ahead and plug these in. Absolute value of 7 plus 2 equals 9. That's 7 plus 2 equals 9, and 9 equals 9. So let's go ahead and give that one a little check. And let's try the other one. The absolute value of -7 plus 2 equals 9. 7 plus 2 equals 9. 9 equals 9. Yay, they both worked. Very happy. Okay. Want you to try one on your own. If you need to review this video, go ahead, go back, try again, watch it again, and then try this problem. I want you to try absolute value of n minus 5 equals -2. Go ahead, take some time, solve it, rewind the video if you need to. Okay. When we solve this, we start by adding 5 to both sides. 5's cancel out. I get the absolute value of n equals 3. And we want to know how many numbers are 3 units away from 0. My answer is going to be n equals -3 and n equals 3. I'm going to go ahead and check my answers, make sure they work. Absolute value of 3 minus 5 equals -2. 3 minus 5 equals -2. -2 equals -2. That goes ahead, gets a little checky. And then we're going to do the other side. The absolute value of 3 minus 5 equals -2. 3 minus 5 equals -2. And -2 equals -2. Another little checky. Woohoo, we solved it! Okay, next type of problem. This time we're going to do one where we have everything happening inside the absolute value. Let's go ahead and try the absolute value of 2x minus 5 absolute value equals 13. Now see, this one's different than the other problem because here everything is happening inside the absolute value. And so we have to solve this a different way. So before we just solved it regularly and then we did the negative positive afterwards. Here we're going to start with the negative positive first. We're going to separate this into two equations. The first equation is going to be 2x minus 5 equals 13. And my second equation is going to be 2x minus 5 equals negative 13. Now again, we know that the absolute value can either be positive or negative. Because of that, we separate it where 13 can be positive, or we're going to do it where 13 can be negative. And then we just go ahead and we solve both equations. Plus 5 to both sides, 2x equals 18. Divide by 2 on both sides, x equals 9. So that's one answer. Now let's try the other side. Plus 5 on both sides. We get 2x equals negative 8. Divide both sides by 2. And we get x equals negative 4. Okay, we have to check both of these. Let's go ahead and plug them in. I'm going to do my check in pretty purple here. And we have the absolute value of 2 times 9 minus 5 equals 13. We're going back to the original equation for both of these. Absolute value of 2 times negative 4 minus 5 equals 13. Again, we're not using these equations that we split, but the original equation from the top. 2 times 9 is 18 minus 5, all inside absolute value, equals 13. Absolute value of 13 equals 13. 13 equals 13. Yay! Happy little check. Okay, let's check the other side. 2 times negative 4 is negative 8. Minus 5, all inside the absolute value, equals 13. Negative 8 minus 5 is absolute value of negative 13. Absolute value of negative 13 is 13 equals 13. And another little happy check. Okay, let me put a problem on here for you guys to solve. Okay, the problem I want you to work on is absolute value of 4x plus 1 equals 7. Go ahead and work on that one and then post your answers. Okay, remember we're going to split this up. 4x plus 1 equals 7 and 4x plus 1 equals negative 7. Go ahead, subtract 1 from both sides. We have 4x equals 6. Divide both sides by 4, and you get x equals 1.5. And on the other side, we're going to subtract 1 from both sides. 4x equals negative 8. Divide both sides by 4, and we get x equals negative 2. I'm going to let you go ahead and plug them in and check them out. On to the last type of problem I want to show you. Okay, so remember when we were solving equations and sometimes there were no solutions? Guess what? We can have it again. So here's a problem for us to go through together. 3 times the absolute value of 2z plus 9 plus 12 equals 10. A lot going on here, isn't there? Okay, first thing we're going to do, we're going to subtract 12 from both sides. Again, if you want to copy this one down, we haven't seen one that has so much going on inside, outside, upside, downside. So go ahead and write this down, work it out with me. I think you'll get this once you practice a bit. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and 10 plus minus 12 is going to be negative 2 equals 3 absolute value 2z plus 9. Next thing we're going to do, we're going to divide everything by 3. It's almost like we want to treat the absolute value as its own variable. We want to get everything around the absolute value by itself. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead, the 3's cancel out, and we get the absolute value of 2z plus 9 equals negative 2/3. Go ahead and leave it at 2/3 for right now. Here's my question to you. Can we have a negative absolute value? Can absolute value be a negative answer? Answer's no. An absolute value of an expression cannot be negative. So if you're solving one of these and you see that you have an absolute value equaling something negative, unfortunately it's not going to work. So our answer is our favorite, no solution. I'm not going to go ahead and give you a problem to try on this. Tomorrow in class we're going to do lots and lots of practice. I'm sorry this video is so long, but there's a lot to show you. I didn't want to do inequalities, but maybe in class we'll start working on them a bit. And in class we're going to talk about graphing also. Looking forward to seeing you tomorrow. Have a great evening. Bye!